holiday season may be upon us, but for the drivers in the NASCAR iRacing's Class C Series Fixed, it's race night. And it's race night as well, right here on iRacing Live and RaceSpotTV as we get set to take the track in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Catch all the action next here on RaceSpotTV.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the Myrtle Beach Speedway here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, as we get set to bring you RaceSpotTV Friday night prime time. It's the C Fix series right here on iRacing Live and RaceSpotTV. My name is Cisco Scaramuza, alongside me, Connery Maddock, to bring you all the action here. And Connery, holidays closing in, but for the stars here in the C Fix series, it's going to be an all-out brawl here on this half-mile track. 55 laps, rather, in the Camping World Truck Series vehicles that have been so good on racing we've seen in the past season in real life, and they're going on a track very much different to what they normally like to drive. This is almost a throwback back to the 90s with the origins of the Super Truck Series back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, this used to be a dirt track as well before the pavement came in the 1970s. But still, it is just over a half mile here. So 55 laps, the half mile track. This one should be over with relatively quickly. So expect some fast and furious action as long as we don't get a huge string of yellows.
Yes, this track home, of course, on the iRacing service to the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series that we have over on LSR. And we go to this track every week, so very familiar with this track and its races. And one thing to note, Connery, is in that series in particular, we have Super Truck Division, which runs the old Camping World truck that's available free to every member from 2013 was that spec of truck. And the biggest thing to note is just the size difference here. This is a very small and short half-mile track. These are very big Toyota Tundras and Chevrolet Silverados.
Yeah, there's definitely not going to be a lot of space given out there on the racing circuit, and some tracks that's 13 degrees banking in the turns, 4 degrees on the front straight, 3 degrees on the back straight. So every single part of this track is banked in some place, but it's not as banked as some other half miles like the very famous Bristol Motor Speedway. Of course, this is going to result in a little bit of more bumping and banging to get yourself way through the corners here as these drivers start to get themselves gridded up.
Absolutely. We're going to take a look at your starting grid here for week number 2. And right now it's Christian Peterson, one of the mainstays in the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, on pole with a time at 19.235, and 2 is outside. Brandon Ebright in the number 10. Kim Short going to start 3rd. 4th going to go to Dalton Collins, and Derek Fulton rounds out your top 5. Aaron Smith going to start 6th. 7th going to go to Jordan Berube. Anthony Burrows is going to start 8th. 9th going to go to Caden Honeycutt. Walt Rett is going to start 10th. 11th going to go to Andrew Ellingsworth, number 3. Zachary Lucas is going to start 12th. Kian Raleigh Howell is going to start 13th. 14th going to go to Zachary Robinson. John Kennedy, 3, going to start 15th. 16th going to go to Colton Salick. Charles Lacar is going to start 17th. 18th going to go to Thomas Gertenberg, and Alexandre Oliveira going to start in the last position, 19th truck on the grid here. Your last 4 trucks didn't take time, and just sitting on pit road, ready to roll off pit road here and take 2 pace laps before we take the green flag.
We will, as we just wait for your pole position sitter to get themselves on towards the grid. The pole position sitter is actually the highest iRacing car in the field. You can tell that by him being inside that number 1 truck there, which means he is theoretically, based on iRacing's iRating system, the best driver in this field. We'll see if that one is, is a true telling of performance around this Mill Beach track.
Yeah, Christian Peterson has basically made his name on the short tracks this season, has done a fantastic job in this series, and an outstanding performance in the Cars Esport Tour this season as well. And Christian even coming off a win on Wednesday as well here at Myrtle Beach. So a lot of experience behind that number 1 truck, and I expect him to do very well tonight. And that win actually did come in the super trucks, so a lot of experience there. He ended up spinning out earlier on in that race and was able to work his way back through the field, and actually it wasn't a win there, it was in another series, but still managed to finish in the top 3 in the super truck race. So a lot of experience behind the wheel in the number 1. One thing to note here at Myrtle Beach, you see those bumps on the bottom, very, very destructive to the suspension of these trucks. If you hit that, you're probably going to mess up your splitter, you're probably going to mess up the toe on the truck, so make sure you don't go too low. But thank you for joining us here on RaceSpotTV and iRacing Live as the Ford Mustang pace car going to hit pit road, and the field is in the hands of Christian Peterson. We head for the restart zone, green flag in the air, and we're racing from Myrtle Beach. Oh, caution out already. It's the number 17 going to go around. Walt Rett, that black truck, going to go around early and not even through turns number 1 and 2. And already the caution going to fly. And it was calamity in your mid-pack as it looked like Rett got tagged by the 19. And that's Andrew Ellingsworth. And it just all went wrong. 2 trucks trying to go for the bottom of the racetrack. I think Rett thought he might be able to clear him, and it just wasn't the case. Ran out of space early, and already 1 driver, massive damage early on.
Yeah, just a fairly standard 2-into-1 sort of deal coming down into turn number 1, and the driver that's definitely going to come off the worst off is actually the number 18 car. Heavy front end damage that car. He got collected in the instant that pretty much he wasn't involved in from the start, just got collected in the aftermath as Walt Rett spun that car towards the middle of the track there. Nothing he could have done to really stop that from happening. Held the brakes. It's just not enough time for that 18 to react.
Yeah, and for Zach Lucas, who's in that 18 truck, you can see a lot of front-end damage on that truck, so we got to keep an eye on the cooling here. Obviously, aerodynamic, not as big of a factor, but if you mess up your intercooler or anything like that on that truck, it's going to pay. You're going to pay for it. So the 18 is going to have to deal with that early on. 2 trucks already out of this race. Alexandre Oliveira as well as Jordan Berube have both chosen not to start here, and will be out of this race early on. So it looks like Berube, possible internet connection issues for him, and Oliveira just choosing not to take part in the race here in the top split of Class C fixed. And we took a look at your point standings, and not a lot to take note of, Connery, because a lot of the names on that list not in tonight's race, just rolling through. Garrett Robinson currently, actually, let me go back to the proper division there. Let's see if we can try this again. Season standings. Yeah, Colin Baldwin's currently leading the standings right now. He's not in this. Caden Honeycutt, no. Graham Bolin, nope. Josh Williams and Jared Mogar. That's your top 5. And then Brian Blackford, the Peak Antifreeze Series driver, and Victor Bartlett, Jason Jacoby. Some familiar names to us here in the broadcasting sense, but looking through your field, not really a lot of main drivers in the series on track tonight, but lights are out on the Ford Mustang pace cars. We get set to take the restart here coming up. 50 laps to go at the line, Connery.
Yeah, exactly. Further down that point standings, you also have Dalton Collins, who is, in fact, in this race. His pace car will pull in, field under the control of the number 1 machine of Peterson's. They head their way through turn 3 and 4, just going to hold the field up. It's quite a way towards that start-finish line. The restart zone, as he will hit the pedal to the metal. Pedersen off and away.
Yeah, green flag out once again, and now they're going to try and make it through side by side for second. A little bit of contact going to come from the bottom. The number 10 of Ebright jumped down to the inside, but they'll keep it clean here as they head back into turns 3 and 4. Peterson already about half a truck length, and trying to dive it to the inside was the number 9 of Kim Short, but she's unable to make it happen as the 2 a dive move to the inside. Collins looking for the inside, trying to pick up some points here. They'll go side by side behind him, and Collins up to P2.
Yeah, and the catalyst for all of that was Kim Short, that driver of the number 9 truck, just getting into the wall slightly coming up into turn number 1. Only loses 1 position as a result, but a little bit of scrambling behind resulted in Dalton Collins getting himself up towards P number 2. Side by side behind, though, between the 10 and the 5, as the 10 almost drifts up the track into Honeycutt on the outside. But Honeycutt will be able to get the run off the corner, only just heading down into 3.
Yeah, and Ebright trying to hold on that inside, and it's Fulton on the outside. Derek Fulton in the number 11 is going to try and grab that position, but Christian Peterson out to an early lead. But Dalton Collins is there looking for anything, and Kim Short right behind him. She's looking for the opportunity to get past Collins in the 2, but number 1 and number 2 sitting first and second right now in your race as we once again come to complete lap number 9 here, and going to have as they back down into 1 once again. Collins looking just not a lot of room. He's going to try and force it under eventually, just can't get the undercut right now. Connery, maybe into 3. Here we go.
Yeah, dive needed down into 3, as he does have a very, very slight overlap, but more rather that is the one that's just leaving the door open there, coming into the 3 and 4 section, into the 1 and 2 now. Dalton Collins has much more of an overlap, drifts up the track slightly, just a bit too overzealous coming into that corner, but manages to recover it. Peterson, knowing that truck is on his inside line, giving him a whole acre of his space, as we also have Kim Short behind trying to make their way through, but still no gap appearing for them.
Yeah, she's trying to make it happen, but not making it work right now. Down to the inside, Collins still there trying to make it work. Now Short's going to jump to the inside and try and get the undercut on Collins side by side, but they'll even up here. 3 cars, single filed, all vying for the lead. You could throw in Aaron Smith as well, who's moved into that 4th place position, trying to make it happen, and Collins still looking for the inside. Just nothing there right now. Back down into 1 and 2 this time. So far, a lot of battling, but just not able to make a lot of moves here. Is now Smith looking to the inside of Short. Nope, not going to happen this time. Single file, though, your top 5, 6, 7. First side-by-side battle, you have to go all the way back around. It looks like Brandon Ebright still trying to make things happen. He's going to jump to the inside of the number 3.
Yeah, down to the inside he goes. He's going to drift up the track, but manages to keep that car relatively down towards the white line there as they head down onto the back straight for the 14th time. There's still that number 10 car on the inside there, trying to make things happen, but it just seems like the grip isn't just working for him down there. He just can't get the traction off the corners. Maybe this groove will start to move up in the next couple of laps, where we'll see more drivers trying to go for that second lane.
Yeah, more drivers are going to try and go for that second lane. The question is, will they be able to make it stick up there or down there? Collins, meanwhile, trying to get the undercut on Peterson. Peterson managing to hold on. Lap number 15 in the books. There goes Collins down to the inside. He's going to send it in down there. Got a little bit loose, rolling through the center of the corner. It's going to be Peterson able to hold on right now, but Collins not done yet. And still trying to make the inside work, but it looks like Peterson able to roll the corner a little bit better on that outside and keep his speed up.
Yep, he will, and Peterson, as a result, is still going to lead this race. As I'm just looking at the very interesting line he's taking through the corner. He's taking more of a middling line, especially coming through turn 1, 2. Let's see if he does the same through 3 and 4. Yeah, he definitely is utilizing the second lane there, so moving up early, trying to search for the grip, and it's doing well for him at the moment.
Yeah, and Peterson, because he's able to keep that truck wound up on the top, you can jump to the inside, but the problem is you get bogged down in the middle of the corner, Connor. You're not able to make the moves happen. So these guys About 5-6 trucks all single file right now. Meanwhile, Ebright's still all over the place trying to make things happen. And now he's going to get stuck on the outside, and it's going to be contact with Raleigh Howell. And they're going to be side by side down back into turn number 1. Brandon Ebright has not had it easy this race. Falls back another position for the 10, still trying to make it work on the top side.
Yeah, trading paint on the doors there, going down into these corners as Ebright is diving it down into every single one of these corner entries, trying to make something work. He's going to hit the wall on the outside, and he does, but manages to keep that car on track, doesn't spin it around. We will stay green.
Yeah, staying green right now. It looks like Lecar now down to the inside. Charles Lecar in the 12 going to try and hold on to it. Nope, side by side. Ebright has the toe off the corner. He's going to try and make it stick up there, and he will clear as Lecar gets punted from behind. It's Ellingsworth, and contact all over the place is now Robinson and Ellingsworth going to go side by side. That's for 10th.
Yeah, 13 down right on that white line there as he tries to get the traction off the corner. But Ellingsworth with the higher line gets the more momentum off the corner, makes it side by side coming off as he carries so much more mid-corner speed here, but has to pull back out a little bit because that outside wall in turn number 4, does come up on you relatively quickly, so you can't take as much traction through there as you perhaps would have wanted. As again, coming through turn number 2, he finally manages to get that move defended.
Yeah, lap traffic, meanwhile, for your leaders, it was Zach Lucas in the number 18. Remember, he has that front end damage, but that bunched them all back up. Peterson got about half a truck length on Dalton Collins, but it's immediately all gone. It looks like another lap truck going to be on the docket here. It's Gertzenberg in the number 16, the Heisenfeld machine. And Peterson slowly closing in. Caution going to be out, though. And it looks like problems. It is Charles Lecar.
Yeah, he spun right in the middle of the track here as you just rewind the tapes to try and figure out what exactly happened. Solo car incident coming off of what is going to be turn number 2. They're coming onto the back straight. The car just got away from him and tried to overcorrect, and actually overcorrected into the number 13 machine of Jackie Robinson there. So he's going to pick up a little bit of damage for his trouble on that front left. Not too much though. That one can easily be banged out with a couple of hammers from the pit crew.
Well, it's speaking of the pit crew, it's pit stop time for everybody in your lead pack. Everybody's coming down, and tires going to be on the docket. Number 1 of Peterson's going to lead them all in, and not a great pit stall for Peterson. Actually, no, it is a good pit stall. I was thinking the other track we were at. But Peterson sitting in the number 1 stall right now. Service going on that Chevrolet, the P-Money Designs entry, and left side's going up right now, and Jack is dropped, and he's away right now. Christian Peterson, but Kim Short tried to make it happen right at the exit of pit road, the second pit box. It just wasn't enough, and Dalton Collins going to pay for that one. He'll lose his spot right now, so it's going to be Peterson, Short, and Collins, your top 3 as they roll off pit road.
Yeah, so close for Short to be able to make her way through there, but it just wasn't happening. Will join Peterson as it stands on the front row coming towards the restart. We still have a couple of trucks down towards the lane. These are the lap down ones, likes of Zachary Lucas coming down in for the service, and Caden Honeycutt also coming down in. So in fact, they stayed out that first time by, deciding coming in this second time by to get their service done. Tires going on to those trucks.
Yeah, and Peterson, meanwhile, very familiar position for Christian Peterson. We've seen it time and time and again on LSR TV. He makes mincemeat of these short tracks. One of the top short track drivers right now on the service, kind of along the same lines of guys like Matt Cucker and Jeremy Adams as well. Some of the top names that we see, and Peterson showing why he's in that position right now. As you see a couple lap trucks in front of him right now. It's the 16, it looks like, in front of him of Gertzenberg, who was going to be put a lap down, but luckily the caution going to save him. And Charles Lecar, who brought out that caution, also behind the pace car. Depending, he may get the wave around, or he may have to drop to the EOL. I believe he'll get the wave around here, though, as he's messing with the pace car a little bit. So it's Peterson, Short, Collins. Then you got Aaron Smith, who's kind of tracking these guys back and forth. And Anthony Burrows, who is had a little bit of a resurgence, started 8th. He's up to 5th right now. I do want to point out also Aaron Smith started 6th. He's now 4th. So a lot of early movers here in your top 5 as lights are out on the Ford Mustang pace car. 27 laps to go at the line.
27 laps as the pace car does pull itself in. Field back under the control of Peterson, expecting to gun it off of the restart zone. Just coming up on in just a couple of seconds with the whole field stacked up behind him, almost trading door paint with the number 9 on that side. Green flag, we will go lap 28 on to lap 29 as they head their way down into 1.
Yeah, Peterson out, single file, then it's side by side. Collins and Short back at it again. And they're going to be continuing to be side by side as Collins going to get an advantage on the inside.
Yes, he will, but he will drop back through that mid-corner there as he heads his way back across line, still side by side with his competitor on the outside line, coming down into one yet again here. Drifts at the tractors a little bit, does the number 2, trying to diamond off the corner exit, but still no luck for him on that inside.
Short trying to wind up the truck on the outside and having a little bit of success at it right now as the driver of the 9, and looking to clear Collins. We could see it. No, Collins going to dive it back in into turn number 1. Contact. A little bit of door banging right there. Short going to get moved up the racetrack. Don Collins takes back second position by force now. As Short going to try and maybe do the crossover move. Looks to the inside, but nothing there. He's trying to get a little bit more, though. Off the corner they go. And right now, Christian Peterson's loving this in his mirror because he's starting to pull away. Still about a truck length back to Collins. Oh, sideways back in your field, and it looks like they're going to hold on to it. That was the number 11 of Derek Fulton and Ellingsworth, the 19. They were able to hold on to it, but they got very sideways contact between those two. The 11, I think, a little bit of a payback nudge to Ellingsworth there. Not two very not happy drivers at the moment. It's a little bit of side-by-side. Further in your field, it's Kennedy and Ebright still going at it, but it looks like everybody now going to be single file here and starting to get into a rhythm.
Yes, they are, as it is only 22 laps to go as they head their way across the line here. Aaron Smith managing to get himself through the field. Started P number 6, currently running in that P number 4 spot. And hey, that is the same as his car number, as he will be very happy with that one. But looking to get himself up inside the top 3 now, as Kim Short is going to drop back off of this lead 2, this leading pair here. So there's a big chance for Aaron Smith to move himself up 1 position. But is this just a plan for Kim Short to just back herself off of the front 2, let them fight it out, then come back with perhaps a little bit fresher tires to save those tires at the end of this race? Or is it just a complete dogfight here at the front between Peterson and Collins? We will just see as Peterson actually will get another yellow.
It's caution out. It's John Kennedy. And also right in towards the end of it, Zach Robinson got involved in that latecomer, but it looked like problems. It was Ebright, Brandon Ebright, the number 10. And we'll take a second look at that on your RaceSpotTV replay. And it was the 10 just got very tight out of the corner. I think gassed it up a little bit too soon. Got into the 7. And then Robinson, nowhere to go. I think he was expecting to go the outside, and the truck got in that way. So Robinson, latecomer to that rank, and adds a little bit of damage not only to his truck, but also to Kennedy's, the number 7 as well. So third caution on the night here on the short track at Myrtle Beach, and looks like everybody gonna stay out except for a couple drivers coming down to get damage repaired. See Kennedy in as well, as it looks like Gertzenberg, LaCar, Ellingsworth, and Caden Honeycutt in as well. So kind of to amend what I was talking about earlier, because the way the standings work, taking a look at it now, like you said, Dalton Collins sitting 11th in the point standings right now. A win here would definitely help that out, Connery, in terms of having a really good average for this week. He has potential to really bring that out tonight, but the problem is Christian Peterson will not be denied, has led every lap here so far this evening.
Yeah, fantastic day so far. Let's see if that one does continue and we get this race restarted. And another thing we have to mention, this is of course a featured series for this season here on iRacing, and as a result, the leaders of each of the divisions that there are out there, the first, second, and third place driver will receive $25, $15, and $10 in iRacing credits at the end of the season if they finish in those positions. So a little bit of monetary value to be racing for here. Of course, those credits can only be spent on the iRacing service, but it helps a little bit to try and get yourself that car you've always wanted to get, and of course the track you need for perhaps the next season does help a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Caden Honeycutt, the driver in the number 5, who's sitting in an 8th position right now, leading the second division. So he's looking at an opportunity to redeem some of those credits off of iRacing's behalf. And we do also remind you, 2 more weeks of this series is going to be broadcast. Week 7, which will be at the Iowa Speedway, and also week 12 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, will all be broadcast here on iRacing Live and RaceSpotTV. And this is week number 2 here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. So you can extrapolate the math. About 5 weeks from now, we're going to be back on with at Iowa, and then number 5, and about 5 more weeks, and we'll be back on at the home track of Pasoko, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but the lights staying on the pace car at the moment. No, doesn't look like any other drivers have left the race this evening and parked it behind. We do have 2 cars, 3 trucks actually now, 1 lap down. Zach Lucas, Zachary Robinson, and Andrew Ellingsworth all laps down here as the lights continue to stay on the Ford Mustang pace car here. They should go out next time, and Peterson will have the opportunity with 14 laps to go to try and go out and win this thing, and Collins going to try and steal this away from the driver that's been so dominant tonight.
Yeah, it looks like we got a little bit of a delayed start there because the 19 car of Ellingsworth was still stopped out there on track, so the iRacing system deemed it was not safe for these drivers to head their way onto the restart. So the lights will in fact be out this time on top of that pace car, and in fact they are out. So restart this time, it will pull in just a couple of seconds.
It looks like Dalton Collins, a little bit of extra help. Jake Watson hopping on the spotting tower for the number 2, but Peterson going to lead the field as the pace car is in, looking for that green flag in the restart box to restart this thing. Peterson going to check up the field on the loud pedal. Green flag back in the air. 14 to go, Christian Peterson.
Yeah, and as they head their way down into turn 1, still side by side for 3rd place. Kim Short holding on the inside, Aaron Smith on the outside trying to make his way around, but single file they will go for the top 4. Smith trying to go down the inside of that number 9 car in front of him. Still nothing doing for him. Battling side by side behind, though, number 8 of Riley Howell trying to make something happen on the outside of number 3. He gets so squirrely coming down the pit straight there. Manages to keep that car under control as he heads down into turn 1 and 2. A little bit of shots to the bumper coming from Honeycutt and number 5 behind, as they all make their way through fine.
Yeah, and they're still side by side right now, but we're going to keep an eye on your leaders because Collins all over the back bumper of Peterson. He's going to dive it into turn number 1 here. Sends it in very deep right there. Peterson going to be able to hold on to it. A little bit of contact right there, but he'll hold on to it, and Collins starting to throw the playbook at Peterson, see what he can do to break the stranglehold, but Peterson remaining stagnant on top right now, will not be touched. Meanwhile, that battle for 5th. Right now, Anthony Burrows has fallen back behind Riley Howell, so it looks like Keaton's going to be able to hold on to that 5th place position. It's going to allow Caden Honeycutt to see what he can do with Anthony Burrows here as the race goes on, but Collins looking to the inside right now, through 3 and 4 this time. 10 laps to go here, and it's Collins looking for any way past Peterson.
Yeah, good old short track racing here as both your leaders slow through the middle of 1 and 2. We have another caution.
Caution out on your racetracks, and it's problems once again with Andrew Ellingsworth, the number 19, and looks like some smoke there and possible. Oh no, it was the 5. It was Honeycutt. Never mind, that was a later incident, but Honeycutt actually got tagged in the rear by Colton Salick, the number 8 truck, or the number 6 truck, going into turn number 1. That sends the 5 right around and back under yellow. Our 4th caution this evening. Honeycutt goes up into the outside wall, pounds the rear end, so the spoiler and the rear bumper are all messed up on that number 5 truck, and Andrew Ellingsworth had to get very squirrely to avoid that incident, and not quite the way he wanted to do that, but nonetheless able to stay out of it. So looks like Peterson and the Collins battle will be stopped at least for the moment, but they're not going to have a lot of time left, Connery, and that has to favor Christian Peterson.
Yeah, it really does. He's been absolutely dominant so far in this race. Once when he is in that front there, it just seems like there's absolutely no way past him. He's running all the correct defensive lines through the corner. Collins was just trying to find something on the inside, something on the outside. Just nothing was really doing for him. And now he's still trapped in P number 2 at this moment in time. So with the few laps that we have to go when we get this race back restarted, he has to do something absolutely daring to try and get himself past the 1.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to see a move here, Connery, sort of like what we saw him try and do into turn number 1. Honestly, I think he's going to have to box out Peterson. That's really the only way I think he can get past him, because Peterson has been so good on the outside that I don't think a traditional dime to the inside is really going to be able to do you much good here. You mentioned it at the top of the broadcast, not a lot of banking here at Myrtle Beach. That means you don't get a lot of run off the corner if you're on that very inside. So I think Dalton Collins is going to have to start going through the playbook and see what's left in there to try and use on Christian Peterson. One thing to note, though, of course, I mentioned Jake Watson, the super late model driver, has jumped in on the box for Dalton Collins, and Watson, a mainstay in the Upstate Racing League series. and knows these short tracks as well. So definitely some support coming in for Collins, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Peterson has just been so good.
Yeah, and if Dalton Collins has, used all of the other opportunities that he might have to try and make a standard pass over the number 1 machine, maybe he has to get a little bit of the chrome horn out to try and move Peterson out of the way coming onto the final couple of laps here, but that's only going to be a last-ditch effort if he can find no other way.
Yeah, absolutely. Expecting the lights to go out this time on the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car, and they do. This is going to be a look at your top 10 right now. Christian Peterson, Dalton Collins, Kim Short, Aaron Smith, the second, Kian Raleigh Howells, Anthony Burrows, John Kennedy, Colton Salick, I mentioned John Kennedy, Charles Lacar, Brendan Ebright round out your top 10 as we head down the back straightaway. The field going to be in the hands one more time of Christian Peterson. We're past the point of no return. If a caution comes out before the white flag, this thing will be over. The field in control from Christian Peterson, and contact from Kim Short. I think she thought he was going to jump the gun, but a fantastic restart for Collins. He might have jumped the gun too early.
Yeah, he actually did hit the start-finish line actually first there over your race leader of Christian Peterson. We'll see what happens with this one. It's a little bit of contact behind between Aaron Smith and Kim Short.
Oh, Peterson's going to get loose. He's going to hold on to it, gets very loose off the corner, dived it. I think he touched the apron, and Collins might be able to hold on to this. A mistaken caution is out, and it's going to cost Peterson.
Absolutely, and who was involved in that wreck? I wonder. John Kennedy is quite slow there, and in fact he was involved in that wreck that caused this final yellow. Let's see what happens coming out of turn number 4. It was the number 12 from behind, saw a gap down the middle of the 2 cars, tried to go for it, but managed to get themselves, oh, that's a huge instant into the outside wall in the pit straight there. Kennedy going on to 2 wheels and luckily not rolling that car down the front straight, but that is a very unfortunate way to end this race.
Yeah, John Kennedy got absolutely destroyed up on 2 wheels there, and looks like Brandon Ebright also going to fall out, I believe hit the incident limit. So for Christian Peterson, that's got to be frustrating, Connery. You lead so many laps, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because, as we say time and time again, the only lap that matters is the last one, and for Dalton Collins, he's going to get away with this one.
Yeah, he might too. Actually, will he get a black flag for that restart, however? Because he did manage
or
to
Peterson's just mad. It could be just, yeah, Peterson, I think, is just mad.
That could definitely be the case here, as we'll see what the official results will be as the entirety of the field will try to head their way across the line. But the checkered flag will be out this time.
Yeah, checkered flag out unofficially for Dalton Collins. We'll have to see what the official results say. We're not sure right now, but that was it was an awfully good restart for Collins, but he's going to bring home the victory right there. Peterson, a begrudging tap to the rear bumper, comes home second, and Aaron Smith sneaks in to grab 3rd place at the end of this thing from Kim Short. She's already pulled off, and it looks like everybody else getting ready to pull it down, but it looks like Dalton Collins going to celebrate with some burnout. So I think all intents and purposes, it looks like he's going to be declared the winner this evening. So, well, he's going to burn it down here on the front stretch. We'll run you through your full race results here from the Myrtle Beach Speedway in week number 2, the C-Fix Series. Dalton Collins going to bring home the victory here. Christian Peterson going to finish 2nd. 3rd going to go to Aaron Smith. 4th going to go to Kim Short. Anthony Burrows rounds out your top 5. 6th going to go to Kian Raleigh Howell. 7th going to go to Colton Salick. 8th going to go to John Kennedy. 9th to Thomas Gertzenberg. And rounding out your top 10, Connery Zachary Lucas.
As you will, looking further down the field, you have the likes of the 5 of Caden Honeycutt in P number 11 there. Charles Lacar will pick up P number 12 out of starting P17. Andrew Ellingsworth, P13. Zachary Robertson and Derek Fulton round out your top 15. And those multiple laps down, the likes of Brandon Ebright, Walt Rett, Jordan Brobe, and Alexander Oliveira did not start this event.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not sure if there's going to be anyone showing up for interviews, so I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick commercial break, be back in about 2 minutes or so, and come back, and if nobody's here, we'll wrap it up with final thoughts. So this has been the C-Fix Series from Myrtle Beach. Back in a moment here on RaceSpotTV and iRacing Live.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
Back live here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway here for round number 2, week number 2 of the iRacing C-Class Series race. I'm Cisco Scarmoza alongside Connery Maddock. Starting to break things down. We're going to talk with the guy who finished in the second place position here, who led so much of this race, Christian Peterson. Close but no cigar, my friend. Talk us through it, man. How was it out there?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a good green flag run there at the beginning. We went to like halfway, got some freshies there, and then real concern was just with Collins. I know the setup was a little strange there. Like we had no power. There was no RPMs in 4th gear, so you'd shift down to 3rd like halfway through the corners, and he seemed to be a little bit better at that than I was, and it was paying off for him, and right there on the last restart, I just, hold on one sec. Somebody was talking in my ear. I just, the 9 car gave me a shot, and the 2 car went off that, and I should have waited just a split second, and I think I would have had something for him, but he pulled it off perfectly and got the good run on the outside.
And Christian, we've seen you time and time again here at Myrtle Beach being able to do a lot, and you know, this is a place, you know, some of the names out there, you know, someone like a Caden Honeycutt who normally runs this series probably saw your name come up and who is this guy? And you've definitely made your name here on the short tracks. And what's it like for you just coming into the series just to run it? Because, you know, obviously you're not in the running for the points, at least. You just going out to have a fun time, or what's kind of the goal for you?
Well, I think this season I was gonna try to run every week because I think iRacing gives you like so many dollars if you finish, you know, if you do the whole season. So I was gonna do that with the C-Fix and then do something with the road. So this was the oval thing, and I had a decent. I don't know how good I finished or what my points were looking like for Darlington last week, but I think I finished 7th in the race I did, so not too good. But I know only 8 weeks count out of 12 weeks or something like that, so maybe we'll get some better finishes here in the coming weeks, and maybe I'll do another one here at Myrtle Beach. I don't know when the strength of fields are, but maybe we'll look for that and see what we can do. Well,
Christian, before we let you go, sponsor shout out, who gets it done for you and your team?
Just everybody at 6Man, Vincier. Yeah, I didn't know this thing was being broadcasted, so that was pretty cool to find out. That was cool to see that CEA was cheering for me, so shout out to them and all that. So thank you guys, and yeah.
Well, that's Christian Peterson going to finish second here at Myrtle Beach, and I saw Kim Short for a minute. Connery might have disconnected, though, so we'll have to see if we'll be able to catch up with that driver. I'm not sure, so I guess we'll just start to wrap things up here, Connery. Your final thoughts here from Myrtle Beach?
Yeah, that was just, that was absolutely great racing out there today. Just some classic short track racing, just no holds barred, just elbows out, try and get yourself back up through the field. And as a result, we had a few too many cautions than I perhaps would have wanted. And I definitely would have wanted to see a straight green flag run to the end there, but without it being ended under caution. But wow, we've still got a couple more of these broadcasts to do this season, so I just can't wait for those.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a lot of fun, but we're not done tonight here on iRacing Live and RaceSpotTV. Hashtag Dirt Night still fired up. Red Bull GRC at Iowa and the World of Outlaws at Volusia and Knoxville. 3 races coming up for you tonight here on RaceSpotTV and iRacing Live. You can catch all that coming up here in a little bit, and that of course will be with Cam and Randy, so you can catch that coming up soon. But we want to say thank you to everybody who makes it happen behind the scenes. For Will Vincent and Hugo Luis, and for the team tonight, Connery Maddock and myself, Cisco Scaramuzo, we want to thank you for tuning in for tonight's presentation of the NASCAR iRacing Series Class C Fixed here at Myrtle Beach, round number 2. And still plenty of racing here left in the year, and you can catch it all here on iRacing Live and RaceSpotTV. But until next time, have a good night.